Good evening, horror fans. Welcome to another episode of Tay and Jay's Horror Slays, where we'll be diving into the depths of horror films by giving our honest opinions. Get your popcorn ready and let's go.
Let's go. This week we're going to be working on a movie that was released September 30th, 2022, directed by Parker Finn. 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, $17 million budget, starring Sosie Bacon, Caitlin Stacy, Kyle Gallner, and Jesse T. Usher. Smile.
17 million?
Yeah, that.
I'm sorry, that's where I got stuck at, to be honest with you. Like
What?
everything after that, it just blew in the wind.
You think more or less?
I don't really from an amateur standpoint, I could say I thought that it could have been less, and not that it was bad, just that when I hear 17 million, I'm thinking about some real crazy. But they did do a lot of interesting things with the special effects. I don't know, whatever. But I usually go first. So, what is your opinion on this movie?
That's true. You do usually go first. I thought it was very interesting. It was good. First of all, and it was almost what I expected, but it had some different things about it that made me think. Um, but I feel like, especially because in our previous episode we were talking about deeper meanings to movies.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got the vibe of kind of what we said when we was talking about the Babadook, where it's like dealing of depression.
Yeah.
Like I really got that from it because it's like these people are murdering themselves with a smile on their face, which gave me the impression of people who are going, like people with depression typically have smiles on their face walking through their day, but deep down they're like sad and you know don't have energy, and but they keep that smile on their face even though they're dealing with so much. um but yeah, I don't know, I liked it. I did. There was a lot that there's a lot that I could say about it. I don't know exactly where to start, but I do like how they start. Like I do like how they jumped into it, because it started with who you end up finding out is her mother laying on the bed, and she wakes up. You know, like she wakes up almost like a nightmare. She after she wakes up from that, she goes to work, dealing with her life as a therapist, and then this new patient comes in, and the movie starts from there, and it's like almost nonstop from there.
So I definitely got that take of mental health, but it almost, how do I say this? It was pretty much the aspect of, okay, I see what you're talking about with the Babadook, but the feel I got from it was more so like the autopsy of Jane Doe with his wife, who he called Ray, like the ray of sunshine. She had this sunny disposition, but she was suffering from depression. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's what it is like. And I know because I have depression. I go through depression spouts, should I say, with my disorders. So it is like that. You're you go from, and honestly, if you want to be realistic, it could be minus, I'll say, it could be more PTSD that they're showing more than anything as opposed to bipolar disorder. But the reason why I'm saying that is because, with bipolar disorder, you usually have the mania and things like that. But I'm saying there, it seems more PTSD because the person's experiencing so much so much trauma, and in seeing this thing, and they go from that to they're falling apart. Like they almost start looking like they're on drugs after a while. And then they eventually kill themselves, but then they're finally happy. Even though realistically they're not happy to die, but you get that sense of people get a sense of, and I know I've been suicidal before, but you get a sense of I'm going to be relieved once I die. Once I kill myself, I'm going to be relieved. So to me, there's that aspect of it. Now, just strictly speaking on the movie itself, it for sure did what it was supposed to do. It was frightening. You already know it's coming. I know y'all know. It was unsettling. I don't know. It kind of unnerves me to the point that I don't know, on the way home, I'm just like, might need to watch something before I go to bed.
Something happy and
Yeah, like
comedic.
even in theater, and I was like, I better not see nobody smile in my dream. Like, yeah, it was funny, but it's like, no, I feel him for real. Like, I better not see nobody. I don't care what it is. I don't care if somebody just gave birth to a baby. It's like, oh, that's nice, but we not smiling. So,
At least not as hard as they were smiling in the movie. See, that's the thing. It wasn't like it was just like even the patient, the way she explained it, like it's the most terrifying smile that I've ever seen in my life. You get that because it's like you're smiling so hard that it hurts.
yeah,
That's the kind of smile they were doing. And when you like that is unsettling, like you said, like if I'm just even if this movie had not come out, if I'm walking down the street and I see someone cheesing that hard, I'm like, what the heck? Like in my head, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, you cool? Like, do I gotta call somebody to help you? Like, I'm thinking something is wrong because no one just smiles like that for nothing.
for sure.
And shoot, you barely see people smile like that for something. So to see that is not a normal thing to see, and you do wonder like what the heck is going on in that moment.
So I feel like character, excuse me, development was really good. I really enjoyed all the characters. Honestly, her fiance probably was the only one I didn't enjoy the most. And that was because to me, like even like his scene where he's supposed to be expressing his concern for her, it felt off. Like if he would have changed into like one of those characters and started smiling, I probably would have been like, okay, I get it. But he just didn't he wasn't it for me. Like honestly, I was rooting for her to get back with her ex.
I mean, if you've seen the movie, I'm pretty sure everyone especially once you get to the end of the movie, you definitely feel that way. Um because she said her feelings to like the reason she left her ex was because he was pulling a certain vulnerability out of her, and she ain't like that.
Mhm.
So she was with someone who wasn't going to do that, somebody that wasn't going to pry about her past, someone that wasn't going to um make her break down her walls that she had built up. So I feel like that was a part. I mean, I feel the same way you do. I didn't like the character, but I felt like they made him the way he was supposed to be. Like, he's not going to overly be concerned about what's going on with her because he feels like she got it. Like, you good. Like, he gonna be like, you cool? Like, everything all right? She gonna be like, yeah. And he ain't gonna ask no more questions after that. You know? And that's the vibe I got from him. And he lived up to it. Like you said, the one scene where you're driving home, you are coming home from work, and there are police at your house. And you're looking in the face like concerning, but your reactions,
No,
like,
he wouldn't even get out the car fast enough for me. Like, honestly,
yeah,
like he really didn't get out the car fast enough for me. I'm just like, you know what? At this point, I could give a if this dude lives or not. And based on the premise, I'm like, okay, he's probably not gonna die, but I wanted him to die. Like, I really, really wanted him to die. I really just did not care. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, but he just did not. His acting really stressed me out too. So it wasn't even just like his character. That's what I mean. Like, his acting was just annoying to me.
okay.
So I mean, him himself, yeah. I mean, he annoyed me, but realistically, yes, I felt like he was supposed to be like that. But again, like him as an actor, just no. Like, it was given soap opera, and I do not like soap operas. I don't, in no way, shape, or form. Like, honestly, if I'm ever like in a doctor's office and they are on, I just immediately plug my headphones in or pick up a book. I do not want to hear or see that. I hate those things, man. Seriously. But now as far as like the main character, she definitely did her thing. Like, I felt the sadness for her, you know, in every stage of her grief, even to the acceptance. You know what I mean? So I felt that. I felt, you know, that need of when you are struggling with something that happens, like with her mom, you know, I guess she'll say committing suicide, you know, and her struggling over and over and over to try to fix all these patients. And she was nonstop trying to fix patients because of what happened with her mom.
For
And
80 hours a week, like,
yeah, and it does not work. Or some things just can't be fixed. And that's just reality. That's something that I took from that, even from her demise. Some things just can't be fixed, you know? So she, you watch this woman already struggling, and then she starts crumbling and crumbling and it was just, at some point, like, even that one scene when she was looking at herself in the mirror, I was like, man, she looks horrible. She looks like she's been using for days.
yeah.
Like, but again, I'd expect that. But again, it goes into what I said about, you know, pulling yourself together, having PTSD and things like that. They like putting on this mask of being okay. And then, you know, it's like when that first person says, hey, are you okay? And it just makes you crumble immediately. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there was so much to that movie that really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And even in the horror aspect of it, the what made it scary, it had jump scares that weren't always with the tropes. It was a lot of, what the hell is that? It was a lot of, oh shit. It was a lot, it had a lot of those moments where I was like, man, that was actually pretty good. And like, really scary moments, like when she was on the phone with the security company, and then it started, it kind of did that moment, like if you ever seen Unfriended, if you guys ever seen that movie, and he was talking to the operator, and she was like, don't hang up. Like, it was that moment, like she was having, and she was like, what? And then she looked and her phone was over there, and it was just crazy. Like, and then that part with her therapist, man, like, I mean, so many moments where I was just like, oh No wonder. Like, I mean, honestly, I probably would have liked it maybe a little bit better if people were actually killing themselves on purpose. I could see that, because it would have been like it is doing so much to them that their brains can't handle it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would have been. I mean, that would have been something else too. Yeah,
It would have been better. I mean, I'm still glad the way it did it, but it would have been better to me on that note.
yeah. No, I mean, no, I agree. I 100% agree that if the stress and continuous picking and prodding eventually made them do it themselves, like free will, and they just went ahead and did it, that would have been a lot better for the story. But I also want to say, because you said about the main character, with that, I also want to bring up the person who played her patient and the person who was in jail. I feel like they played their role very well also,
For sure.
because like for me, those were the instances. I mean, there were a lot of things that happened that also were really scary, but those things bothered me too. Like when she's in the jail and she's talking to him, trying to get him to tell her like what's going on, and then she slips up and is like, I can't kill nobody, and she covers her mouth, and he was like, wait, it's you? And he starts it made me feel uncomfortable watching that, because I'm like, like even you said it, because you like, I feel him, like I did all of this to get free from it, and you're bringing it back to me.
Yeah.
Heck, like I felt that.
Oh man, I just realized too. That's why he was freaking out like that. I mean, not only, of course, he was freaking out because it's like, okay, you're bringing this crap to me, but he knows it needs an audience.
Mm-hmm.
So no, hell no.
Exactly.
Like,
get the
it
heck
just
away from me.
dawned on me for real. Like, I mean, I knew, like I said, I thought to myself, like, I don't even care if you are the one carrying it. I don't want to even know you. Like, you know what I mean? But because he knows for a fact that it needs an audience, and it could literally make her end herself right now.
Right in front, exactly. Right in front of him. And then he's stuck. Like, I mean, literally, if you think about
he's
it,
stuck for real, because he was in jail.
Yeah, like
that. No, he probably have to kill his. He probably have to kill his cellmate.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that would be, honestly, that would have been an interesting thing to see. I mean, probably not in this specific movie because it was about her, but like that would be an interesting thing to see, because it literally would be an epidemic, because you're in jail and there's nowhere you can go. You're surrounded by other people. There's nowhere you can go. So it would literally be an epidemic where, okay, he would kill himself, or he would kill his roommate. Somebody else seen it, then they would kill somebody, or or he wouldn't tell them that, but he would, like, eventually it would get back to him, because there's only but so many people in there, so it would come back. It would know that it had to come to, like, if he would, like, let's just say he's the last man standing, the entity knows that it has to get an audience, and they know you can't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at a certain point, you would think, like, they probably would, like, shut it down. People would have to be moved to different, and then that's the thing. You get moved to another jail, and then an epidemic would happen again. They're like, why is it happening to all these like,
for sure. Like, and so that would have been cool. And then it would have been cool, like, like kind of how they kind of did The Ring, where you kind of start figuring out, like, after a while, like when you get the rings, you're like, okay, this is what it's kind of stopping it. But like, so that would have been nice. Like, if, let's say, he did that, right? He did it again. He killed somebody again. And then, like, it's just him and, like, the guard. And he's like, screw that. And he, like, locks himself in a room with this guy. That would have been cool as shit. Because it's like, oh, no, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to pass it back to you. You know what I'm saying? And then what if the guy decided to gouge his eyes out?
Right.
He can't see no more. Like that. Like there's, like if they did like a sequel, that would be something cool to see. But don't be just jumping to it, and don't be doing nothing stupid because I hate when y'all do that. But
And then you know what else? Also, I thought like I was like, okay, what if, for example, what if the main character, what if she would have killed herself, right? On purpose before the entity
that's what
got
I
to
thought she
her.
was doing when she left to go to her old home. I thought she was gonna kill herself because that's what I would have did
Right. I mean, I thought she
by
was
myself
going to.
alone.
I thought she was going to too, but but more so where I was getting to when I was saying this was, what if she killed herself? Let's say doing what her mom did, taking a bunch of pills and
Nah,
just
you just gotta shoot yourself.
probably.
The
But
damn
I'm just
entity
saying,
be following you, man.
I feel it. But what I'm trying to get to is, let's just say she took a whole bunch of pills, killed herself, bro. We know what happened, bro. Can't What if he finds her dead? She's dead, and calls an ambulance. They come. They bring her back. What happens to the entity?
Why didn't she try that? They totally did that in Fear Street.
That's what I'm saying. Like that. That's why I'm like, what happened? Like like there. That's what I'm saying. There's questions that you could ask because that's what I would have. I would have been like, do not. I'd have been like, look, especially because he was the only person who understood what was going on. I would have been like, listen, I'm going to kill myself at 10:45. You need to be here by 11 to bring me back. Just so you don't witness it happening. Boom, boom. And then we'll see where it goes from there. If it's still after me at that point, then we know that's not, but at least exhaust all your possibilities before being like, okay, I'm gonna try to escape and not tell nobody what I'm doing. Like,
and I get like that she was, and maybe that's because I feel like she was at her wits' end at that point. But I'm like, I get that, like you're like upset, but when she realized she was actually still in the damn house and ran outside, why she go back in there? Like she saw him and was like, no, and I'm like, get it, but you've had so many fake out moments, and you should know by now. The second time you see somebody or they call you, it's real that time. That's the pattern I've seen.
Right.
So I don't know why she didn't get it. She literally did it to herself.
True. But I also feel like, okay, which is stupid because she knows he's a cop. So he knows how to kick doors down. But I think she was going back in to get away from him. So it's like, I don't want you to see. I don't want you to be around me because this might happen. Like, it's the entity is here, is going to take over me, and is going to kill me in front of you. It would be easier. See, that's the thing. And you've said this multiple times. I've said this multiple times. I don't understand why these people just don't talk.
Yeah.
Let people know what's going on. Like, hey, this entity is killing people in front of people, and that's how it's passed on. Stay away from me. Now, if they still decide to be like, hey, no, I love you, I don't want nothing to happen to you, that's on them at that point. But at least you gave them the option. But if you don't say nothing and these people think you're suicidal, they're going to try to come and save you, which is literally putting you in a position where you're bringing them around you anyway.
Right.
So I don't understand why are you shocked? Obviously somebody knows that you still have that house in your name. Your sister knows, your fiance knows, your ex-boyfriend obviously knows, like all of these people know. So you didn't think somebody might, if they think you're suicidal and they don't want you to hurt yourself, you don't think that they might be like, hey, let's go up there. We can't get in contact with her. We don't know where she's at. Let's check here to see if she's there.
Yeah. I get that she was facing her trauma, but I feel like maybe she should have burnt the house down with other people. Maybe he had went out there about like 4 or 5 people. Because since it's getting, that's what the devil does. Kill, steal, and destroy. He gets his jollies off by causing trauma. So if your trauma is feeding it, maybe burning down a house with other people would have made a difference.
Like with them in it?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't,
Like
the entity was still following her. Like the house wasn't where the entity was.
I know, but what I'm saying is it still got to the point where it led her to believe, and maybe she really did burn the house down, but it kind of, was like, nah. Like, you know what I mean? So my thought was, like I said, take care of those traumatic incidences right then and there in front of some people. And then, maybe deal with it, because it could have been a flatliner type of thing. Deal with that trauma another way, like, and then it wouldn't have any power. But at the same time, even though it does that to people, period, in her case, I mean, she was on some you should have left shit. She definitely was just like, fuck it, and let her mom die. So maybe her trauma was so strong that she wasn't able to fight that. So I don't know. Like I was thinking about a couple of things when we were watching that. That was definitely one of them. So now as far as special effects goes, that was disturbing. It was disturbing, special effects wise. It was very disturbing. It definitely gave me that like that chill factor. Like, okay, this just that's enough. Like, because it was just like everything was just super like scary, and the camera angles, the directions, and all that stuff was just on point to me. It was just like, it made me cringe every time she would turn like a certain way, and I'm just like, nah. Or like when she was on the phone thinking she was talking to a security company, it was like, turn around. I would have bolted through the fucking door. Like, not even gonna lie to you, I don't give a shit where I ended up, but I would have been through the door. Gone down the street somewhere.
Right.
My fiance would have had to find me down the damn street. That's where he'd have found my ass. Like, hell no. It was just that frightening to me. Like, and what else? It was the perception of reality that got me, for real, for real.
Yeah, it kind of
because these people
kind of gave me the vibe of like Oculus level of like,
oh no,
deception.
Yeah,
like the deception was crazy. Like you said, like you're talking to somebody to find out that you're really not talking to this person.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You're in front of somebody having a conversation with them, and then the person you're in front of calls you on the phone. Like, that is like,
when a therapist
nuts.
called, man, and her face, like, I was like, man, you would have thought that was really happening, dude, because she was just like,
swear. And then
again, I'd have bolted down the side of, I'd have hopped down the steps like how I used to do when I was a kid, and my mom used to yell at me. Yeah, that's how loud and strong I'd have went down the steps.
Swear, because I'm like, I feel like she was moving too slow after she found out that it was like fake, like the fake one. I'd have been outie, no questions asked. Shoot, I might have tried to burn the house down in the process.
If she finna die, that's my thought. If I'm finna die, what I got to lose?
Facts.
But I mean, honestly, I'll say probably when it comes to the scary scale, y'all got to be home and it got to be daylight. And honestly, daylight doesn't even make a difference to me because this mug was popping up at her house in therapist form at midday. Like now I'm scared to see my therapist. She smiled too hard. I'm like, nah, what you saying, fam? Like I'm just bolt out the door. She looking at me like I'm crazy.
Swear. And then their laugh was like that was creepy too to me. Like that. Yeah, it reminded me of. Okay, I don't know if any of y'all have seen this, but there used to be. Well, it's still a thing, but Crypt TV. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a short film that they made called The Look-See. It reminded me of the Look-See's laugh, and that was always creepy to me. I love the like if they made the Look-See into if they made that into an actual film the way that they did Lights Out, but I'm saying like but better like
Wasn't this a short film though?
I don't actually know. When I looked it up, I think it was a different. I mean, yes, it said that it was made from a short film, but I can't find the short film anywhere. So that's
Was
why
it
I'm
out
like,
of the
I
country?
don't know. I don't know.
Well, I will say this.
I could keep looking, but
Even still, we're just gonna say it is. Lights Out. This is how you make a full feature length movie better than the short film. Because there's no reason Lights Out, the short film, should have been way better than the feature length movie.
yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Well, we'll say maybe just as good as the short film because since we haven't seen the short film, we don't know if Smile was better than it. It could be on the same level, or
I mean, regardless, it was popular enough to make into a movie.
Correct.
And that could be a good thing because some of y'all be tripping as horror fans. I'm sorry. Some of y'all not real horror fans. I mean that with all due disrespect. I'm just saying, like, okay, obviously I make a repetitive point about a lot of movies that I like.
Right.
And that's fine. I don't even care if a person's like that. But people will see movies like Terrifier 2 and go, oh my gosh, that was the best movie ever. And it's like, what? Seriously? You thought that was like A1.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. It was cool.
It was literally cool. Like, literally, the first one was better than the second one.
I agree. 100%.
I still would have disagreed with y'all if y'all had said that. But at least I would have been like, okay, I kind of get it.
Bruh.
I'm just saying, like, people really don't be horror fans. They be fans. Of something.
Well, I mean, some people just like what they like. That's what I'm gonna say. And the reason I say that is because I know some people who are classic movie horror fans, and they're like, oh, there's like these are the best movies, all of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some classic movies, but look, I love my classic movies, but there's no comparison with all of the technology that we have with the special effects, and there's just no comparison.
Yeah.
That like there, you don't get me wrong, you get some of the like Evil Deads who had really good for its time frame had really good special effects. You get Night of the Living Dead that had pretty good had pretty good special effects. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, like there are some out there that, you had some pretty gruesome and pretty realistic special effects, but there's still no comparison to the technology
Yeah.
aspect of the special effects that we have now, to where it literally looks like someone is ripping their face off of their head. Like,
Are you saying that because that happened?
yes,
Okay.
that was I was like, yo, what? Like, her boss grabbed his face and was just like, rip, like that was crazy. And don't get me wrong, you could do something, I guess, similar, because I don't know if you've ever seen The Fly. And if you have, it's
No,
probably been
I've
a while.
seen like little things about it, but like even just seeing like the clips and things because I listen or watch a lot of horror movie, channels on YouTube and it sounds so nasty.
Yeah, that final transition of him turning into the Fly was probably the most disgusting and most realistic I've seen of that that generation of classic movies.
Mm.
It was probably the most realistic that I have seen. Maybe, maybe The Thing too, also, and you might be able to put Alien in there a little bit too, but
Alien, man. I just like how we'll do that another day, but I just want to say I just like how their graphics is still popping.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so like, I'm not saying that it wasn't possible back then, obviously, like, because there are those movies that had them where it's like you can even watch it to this day and be like, dang, that was pretty good special effects. But it's still not the same.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at, and I'm
Oh,
not, and believe me when I say this, I'm not saying the movies themselves are better. But if you look at the special effects from Alien and the special effects from Alien Covenant, it's not the same.
right.
When you look at the alien in the first one and it reached this, like, don't get me wrong, it was creepy, but it's like, what? You like, he's reaching out, like, but you don't, and that's the thing. In the first one, you don't get to witness what they were going for. Like, later on, and like Alien Resurrection, AVP, Alien versus Predator, and then Covenant, the aliens are super fast,
Yeah.
which is what you get, like, and I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for that, but there's not a whole lot you can do special effects wise back then. You could have the costume be on point, and you can have the face hugger grab onto you really well. Like, you can have special effects in certain aspects, but you're always going to fall short in other aspects, like the speed thing with the alien. Like, we all know that the aliens were supposed to be fast, like a lot faster than the humans, but in the first Alien, it's really slow.
Yeah.
But in Alien Covenant, it's moving like you ain't outrunning it type stuff.
Yeah.
So that it's just stuff like that, like little nuances that you can see where it's like,
But see, that's why I loved the dinosaurs in Jurassic World. What's that? Dominion, right? That was the
that
last
the
one.
last one.
Yeah, because those bugs was like running. I mean, like how they said that dinosaurs run, or like the ones that are a mix of raptor. They running how raptors are supposed to be running.
Up to 60 miles per hour.
Realistically, Yeah, y'all did. Anyway, but yeah, the brace of bumping in the walls, that was what made it more realistic to me. And then like with Owen, he was on a motorcycle. This thing was on his tail. Like that's what I enjoyed about it. As much as I love the Jurassic Park franchise, I do like that they made it make sense in the last one, where it's like, you cannot give us this long, drawn out history of how fast raptors are and then show them not be able to catch up to humans, especially motherfuckers like Grant. I'm sorry, I fuck with Grant, but he's old as shit. You mean to tell me he's running and this damn thing ain't caught him one time?
I'm telling, look, that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, like in Jurassic Park 3 specifically, when they were in that building and the raptor was in there and they're running out of the building, and I'm like, oh, that's some bull. They should have been caught.
At least one of them was caught.
Facts. Like,
he was distracted with eating one of y'all.
That's all I'm saying.
Now, I'm not even gonna say I agree with this, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna try to like let it go of the fact that when all the other dinosaurs start running with them, maybe it's a big maybe. Just saying, but y'all did. Like, okay, what you talking about? You know, especially if he's calling out to others, and you're in their domain. Yeah, no, you're in their territory. Y'all did.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not believing it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and believe me, we can go down a long list, and maybe we will make that into a segment at some point. But we could go down a long list of differences in technology when it comes to, you know, their special effects, because it's just there's no comparison.
But that's why we are as great as we are, because we appreciate, you know, the old school stuff, the things that we may not watch anymore but we liked, or the things that we still do watch that we liked back then, and we can appreciate what's new. I think that's where the issue starts coming into play, as people don't start appreciating what's new because they're like, oh no, that was my time and my era. Yeah, but this is a new era. Like, that's why there's so many horror movies like this that frightened me. Like, this frightened me because of the special effects, because of the, excuse me, what the hell is going on with me? Anyway, because of, okay, like we just said, she said, or like, no, forget the therapist. She kills her patient in front of somebody to pass the curse, only to find out she's been asleep the entire time and she's dreaming this shit up.
Right.
You know, and that's when, you know, he tore his face off. Like, yeah, like well, that was just me. She should have knew when she was stabbing him. He's going, with her. I was like, something right. I thought she was still awake. I just thought the thing was playing with her, and she was stabbing somebody else or stabbing the wall like a psycho. Like, you know, but so, you know, when all that like stuff like that is scary as hell. This movie gave me what I needed. This movie gave me what Sinister gave me, and that was the feel. Well, slightly, because again, I probably would have killed myself, but the feel of I would have probably died. That's what I wanted to get from it. That's what I like to get from movies. I want you to take, like you said, that the guy said, the impossible and make it impossible. That's what I like to see. And that was what made this movie, amongst other movies like Hellraiser, really good to me. Like, especially like when we did Hellraiser, because you got to remember, like, she's left to suffer with the loss of her brother. More importantly, a bunch of other people she got to explain that died, and got to be like, well, I mean, now she's going to be sitting in a psych ward for the rest of her life because now she has to explain why these goddamn people are dead, and everybody's going to look at her like she's a fucking lunatic. You know, right. And that was one of the good parts about Oculus. And as much as I rag on the movie, that is something I liked, was that they, okay, I can't even say they, I'll say her. She started off, because she dragged him into that. She started off having full control. And then the house showed her, you're full. I'm in control. And it started unraveling and unnerving them from the moment they stepped through the door. She got through her whole montage and, explained everything away, even though I felt like it was kind of her fault too. Because, like, why did you explain your plan? It's like, it's the villain speech. The villain speech gets y'all every time. But I feel like that's what killed her in this movie too. She had a little villain speech. Shut the hell up. Like, but yeah, so it was just, everything was just unraveling, scarier. And it was just, and I think, with these movies, and this is just got downloaded to me, what makes characters die, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I almost took off running just then from that sound. I promise you, I was about to get up and leave. And I just really feel like a piece of shit, because I feel like Kevin Hart, because I dead ass once again was not gonna say shit. I was just gonna leave. Like, fuck you and the kids. I was just gonna leave. And maybe I should see my therapist about why I feel like that. But yeah, a lot of these movies like those have that, when they talk about the possession stages. And you ever notice that that's really what's common, is that they're weakening a person, their mental state, their health, their physical health, and they get them to a point of how she was in Oculus. And she said, we should stick together. Yeah, you think? You've been going through a lot of weird shit for a long time. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? You killed your own soon-to-be husband. Nice. Yeah, you should probably do that. Or like when she's like 50-50, that wasn't even him. Exactly. Get out of there. Like, leave him in there. He'll be all right. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked seeing that in this. Just like I said, that's what happened in Sinister. He got so to the point where he just couldn't take it anymore. He got to the point where Bagul got him out his own selfish way, and he was like, fuck that. Fuck this bulk. Fuck this money. Fuck this fame. And he left. He killed his family when he did that, but he left nevertheless.
And that's because, he didn't know what.
And he didn't answer the phone call when Deputy so called.
Facts. That's on him though. Cause he felt like he wanted everything that had to do with that. He wanted it. He ain't want nothing to do with it no more, including the people who was helping him. But that's what got him killed. So it is what it is. But what I also want to bring up is, like, I also want to go back a little bit to the classic and newer movies. Now, don't get me wrong. There are sporadic good ones throughout the years. But I think the reason why people who like the classics are so my generation is because even though they didn't have as good of special effects, and even though they didn't have the best acting all the time, they typically had the better stories. Like the writing was a lot better back then. And then with this new stuff, it's almost like they did a whole transition where it's like the writing is really bad, but they're like, we'll spice it up with really good special effects, and y'all never know the difference.
I think I can definitely I concur.
Yeah, because 2022 on the other hand, it feels like they're taking the best of both worlds. We're getting the good special effects with some good writing, and it's just like, yes,
that part.
Thank you.
Been showing out.
I'm telling you,
movies. Like 2022 has taken horror movies to a next level. 2022 made horror movies horror again.
Exactly. That's
make
why
horror again. Like, talking about make America great again. Make horror again. Because I agree. Because when you do think about it, you gotta think about some of the movies we've watched. And it's like, what happened? I don't get it.
And like I said, there are sporadic good ones like Autopsy of Jane Doe, Sinister. Like there are some good ones sprinkled in, but the vast majority are just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, this is scary. It's like, yeah, but this is scary. But this is scary. And you're like, okay. And even still, even with the scary aspect of it, you got to remember too, some of that shit was like, it's only scary because you said,
yeah,
like
jump scare. It's like, okay,
like
I get it.
Yeah, like, and that's, when we do rewatch it, so we can talk about that. That's what I liked about Pray for the Devil, because some of the jump scares weren't always like,
surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, like when I think you were still awake at this point, but when she leaned down to pick up something off the floor when she was brushing her teeth, and that entity was standing behind her, I was like, "Fam, did you see that?" Because I saw it, so why didn't you see it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Excuse me. So I agree with you there, because there is definitely a lot of horror movies that are newer, not this year specifically, but newer. And maybe that is why, like you said, like why they feel like that, because it is like, okay, because I need a storyline. The only time I don't give a shit is when it's something like, okay, for example, just like Smile. I don't know what the fuck this entity's issue is and why you just keep popping up and just killing motherfuckers and terrifying the shit out of them until you finally come kill them. You know what I mean?
Low key, I was starting to feel like this is some Final Destination shit where the entity has no reason other than wanting your death, your wanting your life.
Well, that's the good thing about Final Destination, though, which I agree with you. But I'm saying the good thing about Final Destination is it started in, sorry, just all the stuff's popping in my brain. You could compare Final Destination literally to the difference between people that love classics and people that like horror movies now. And I mean people that be saying the movies are great and they're not.
Right.
Because Final Destination 1 frightened everybody. I mean, yeah, there were some cheesy lines, whatever the hell. And then again, you know how I feel about people that have movies with teenagers. It's like, have you ever seen a teenager in your life? Because I don't think you have, by the way you portrayed this movie. But so
that's what I'm saying.
The dialogue between teenagers I'm like, I don't think I've ever had that conversation as a teenager. Like, I don't know who you're talking to.
Like you said, it's like they forgot what it was like to be a teenager. It was like they went from freaking 11 years old and hop, skipped, and jumped to being an adult. And it's like,
I'll tell you,
where's your teenage life? Like,
so it's like, okay, you did that, right? Like, but Final Destination was frightening as hell.
Right.
Like, I like movies that bring a new fear to horror. And I like how funny that sounds. I like movies that bring new fear. But because you got to remember, Final Destination built its own category.
For sure.
You have a premonition. Speaking of which, we got to watch that, because I actually saw that movie and I liked it.
Premonition?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, that was one of the movies where I saw it, liked it, don't remember nothing about it. Well, obviously, the little small parts, but...
Right.
So, you have premonition about a plane crash. It was a little bit more detailed than the later ones, but basically, you're getting the feel of people died in a certain way.
Right.
You come out of the premonition, which, of course, anybody who has a premonition like that
feels as real as his did.
Yeah, you're going to be like, what the fuck? So he's rightfully terrified and loses his shit.
And then, honestly, let's be honest, he ain't lose his shit at first. he was just like, oh, that was some scary shit. And then everything started happening the exact same way it was happening in his dream. And that's when he started losing his shit. He was like, hold up, motherfucker.
Exactly. So it's like, and then it happens, and you realize everybody's like being killed basically in the order, quote unquote. I'm saying that because I feel like in the first one they kind of did that, but it was like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But they're being killed. Everybody who's survivors. So you get to the second one, same thing. And I think I was about to call it a whole other movie. Final Destination 2 was a lot more prevalent than the first one. And I'm saying that in a way of nobody I know that saw that movie can drive behind a truck of logs without moving to the left or moving to the right. You're like, nope, I can't fuck with it.
Fact. I ain't taking a chance. Fuck it.
You're like, nah, I'm not going.
I know they probably got it strapped down, but I don't know.
I see the
that
strap
they got it strapped down.
But in my mind, I picture that whole entire scene. So no, like to the point that they make memes about it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like it goes hand in hand with its own category, and I get that. Once you get to the third one, no, I'm sorry, because let me just say this point about the second one, you know, and then you get Ali Lauder because I know her name, and because I don't remember, I think her name was it Claire?
In the movie,
so you get to,
which she don't look like a Claire, but
Allie's point of view. I'm not gonna keep calling. I don't know. But and she's sitting in a psych ward, and she has all these stipulations, and I'm like, it get and to see. I like stuff like that because it starts to make you think. Do you want to just forever, like I said, almost leading back to Hellraiser? Do you want to live a sad, depressing life, knowing all that you know, or do you just want to die? And she chose her sad, depressing life, and she was fine until that bitch came and got her out of there. It wasn't her fault, but it was her fault for going. But yeah, so my thing is, they get to the third one and beyond, and the third one used to be my favorite. Rewatching it again made me be like, what the hell is going on here? It was terrible acting, and there's people in there that I like. Terrible acting on people's parts. Just ridiculous situations where it was like death was becoming a legit villain. Like it wasn't like, okay, like
that makes sense. Yeah, like that death makes sense. Like nah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, because like they started tipping the scale even in the second one, like with the boy, and he was in the dentist's office and that thing fell into his mouth. Like, you're a dentist. Why do you have shit dangling on your ceiling in your actual exam rooms?
Right.
Like,
well, for kids, I guess.
No, like it's a fucking crib. No, absolutely not. So yeah, no, miss me with that shit. Like, that shit started getting ridiculous. Like, it started getting to the point where I was like, okay, you're pushing it, you know. But the third one definitely, like, when you're like, don't try me, bitch. No, when Brandon Rogers said, try me, bitch, that's how I felt. Like, it was like, come on, are you trying everything in me by putting that out there? It doesn't make any damn sense. There's so many movies that do that though. Like, they just, you know, especially the new ones, they just like, oh, it's like I said before, they get, that's the line of coke they snort. They get high as hell off the ratings of the Glass movie and be like, I could top that. Or they get high as hell off watching another movie be a certain way, like, I could top that. And then it's like, no, you really can't. You really can't. Because you really didn't think about it the way you should have. So don't think that you're going to top another movie just because you were high at the time. And see, hear me when I say this. I don't mean high in a way that you were actually high. But just like honeymoon stages in relationships and marriages, people get that with their creations. Like, oh, this is this is my business, or this is my story, this is whatever it is that people get, and then they get into that point, that headspace of I'm 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 going to be the best at it. No, listen, being the best at something means you have to take time, sit down and reread, do something, like picture your lines. Like when I see certain movies, I'm like, and I have two feelings. The first feeling is a person could have been thinking what I was thinking when I first watched it. Like, for example, like what I just said with Final Destination 3. Oh, she loved it. Great. Sometimes I feel like you need to rewatch it
Mm-hmm.
and be like, nah.
This ain't it. like, I swear, like, this ain't it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that, I feel the exact same way. Like, because I feel like there are too many movies where they make a movie and it gets so good, so many good ratings that they're like, you know what? We got money off of this. Let's hurry up and write it. Like these movies, I feel like they drop these movies as a single movie. Like they make it as a standalone movie. And it does so well that they're like, oh snap, it made money. Let's make a second one really quick.
Or hold on. Just like you mentioned, the Autopsy of Jane Doe, right? They look at that and they'd be like, all our fan base keeps wanting a prequel or a sequel. We gotta do it. You don't.
Exactly. And honestly, I think I'm happy that the Autopsy of Jane Doe didn't do as well as it probably should have, because it's a great movie. So it should have done a lot better than what it did. But I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because with it not doing well when it came out, they didn't feel like, hey, let's make another one, let's make a prequel, let's make a sequel, let's make this into a franchise 7 movie series. Like, no, we didn't need that.
That would have been so annoying, dude.
Exactly. And I feel like if it would have broke records, that's exactly what they did. A year later, they would have made another Autopsy of Jane Doe 2, and we would have been over here like, oh my gosh, what happened? You know, like what I feel like they did with Sinister. Like Sinister did really well, and they were like, oh, let's make a Sinister. I mean, and they didn't even rush on it, and that's what made me the most mad. They didn't even rush Sinister 2. It felt like they took their time. But they
didn't take enough time. Okay,
exactly. They didn't like you said, they didn't reread over their script.
You know what? I love me some Joe Budden. Okay, and Joe Budden, he said something that made me laugh my ass off, because it's so damn funny and so damn true. Shout out to you, Joe, and the rest of your members of your podcast. Forgive me, gentlemen, because I be having to try to learn everybody's name. I be listening to y'all when I'm driving, so or I'm cleaner or whatever. But I've always loved Joe, even all the way back to Love and Hip Hop, all the way back to Pump It Up. Like, Joe is just he's a very interesting, deep character, and I think a lot of people misread him because they expect him to be, I don't know, like a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not. So, but he said it was in regards to Kanye and his, I think it was the Kanye thing with the White Lives Matter thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, all this happened. He was like, because the nigga didn't go to bed. And I lost it. He's like, and I think the one guy was like, you stay out so much. He's like, I stay out of some situations sometimes, by just going to bed. And I'm like, when you think about it, you're like, oh, that's hilarious. And it is. It's funny as shit. Because I didn't take it normally at first, for like the first 5 minutes of me laughing, because I was laughing my ass off. But when you think about it, you do a lot of stupid shit when you're tired. You know why? Your brain has not is shut down. It's not functioning normally anymore. Delirious. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say, you motherfuckers should go to bed before y'all start thinking this shit up. Everybody can't be tired and having insomnia and start writing classics. Yes, I said it because it's going to be a classic. Writing classics like Fireflies, like Owl City did. Some of y'all need to go to bed. Y'all here writing songs like, it's Friday, Friday. No, just go to bed. Y'all here writing horror movies, expecting to get some goodwill from the audience. And we're not accepting of it.
Exactly. We're not stupid. And we're, like you said, we're not going to accept it.
Like, because this is the thing. To me, this was very well written. I like movies that go straight into the point, but not in a what the hell just happened way. That's why I like James Patterson as an author. Shout out to him. He's straight to the point with his books, and he engages you from start to finish. It was well written in a sense that I would 100% buy it on DVD. I still, again, would not. It made me uncomfortable, and that's a compliment that I can give a movie. I would not, like I said, I would not watch it alone. And I probably not. Maybe let me phrase that. I probably would, but just like Hellraiser, maybe. But you know how long, and that's why I mentioned it, because that was the first movie that really truly scared me when I mentioned The Ring. You know how long it took me to be able to watch that shit by myself?
Probably freaking close to 10 watch. Once you get to the 10th watch, it's
Oh
like,
no,
all right, I didn't watch
we're
it.
talking about years. Years. And see, now as a horror movie fan, I respect a person's thought process. Like, where for you it might not be that scary for you, you know. But for me, it was like, it was everything about it. It was the tone. The tone was never happy. It was just like in this movie. The tone was not happy. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, start to finish, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it wasn't happy. It didn't make me feel like, I ain't gonna lie, I chuckled a little bit in my head. I didn't chuckle all out. And that's another compliment I can give to the movie, because I found something that I said to myself that was funny that I didn't laugh out loud for. And that was me, again, being on some wrong shit when I was like, I'll never be cheerful again. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, man, I had a great day at church. After watching that, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I need to pray again. I feel like I need to see my Bible. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. This movie did what I needed it to do. And even though as sadistic, no, I don't say sadistic, but as crazy as it sounds, I don't like this feeling, but I want this feeling. And if it doesn't give me this feeling, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of a horror movie if you're not frightened?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not scared, if a person doesn't take some time to reach deep within them to find something that's frightening to us. Like, if it doesn't scare that person and make them make them sit up at night, like, man, that was some scary stuff that I wrote. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
So, again, like I was comparing, it was just, and I'm going to try to make this my last reference about The Ring, I swear. It was scary to me. First of all, I was young, so that didn't help. But I was not super young, but I was young. It was scary. Tone was just off. It was just like, again, the things that kept popping up, just like this movie. The things that was popping up that I'm like, oh, what the like, you know what I mean? Like, you were getting shown all types of things. And then that last final scene, the last final scene, and that was a movie that's old as hell. Like hell, The Ring 2 couldn't even be that good.
Well,
The Ring 2 was trash.
That was some great.
Like even graphics wise, it was
just
trash.
about to say that was some great special effects in that.
Facts. When she reached out and that first hand touched the floor, I damn near jumped back like he did. You know what I mean? And then, you know, it was the walk, and like I said, even the graphics were good as hell. Even the rings, it wasn't that good. I'm like, who's doing the graphics for this? And then she zoomed up and he flipped backwards and ran into his shit and he was crawling on the floor. Everything about it was just like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You don't want to breathe too loud because you think she's going to come out of your teeth next.
And then she did that turn and then her hair just parted and she just looked. And then I was just like, oh, hell no. So that's what I'm saying. So even in that last scene, when she was, thank you, because I damn sure didn't know she was pouring gasoline on herself. I didn't know what the fuck that was. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't know what it was. I just seen her with some shit over her head. I thought it was some explosive shit. So I was like, I thought she was gonna blow him and her up. But she didn't. But when I knew she was gonna be smiling when she turned around. But when she turned around and she had the matchbox, I promise you, I had a dumb moment, y'all. Like, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what? Like, I thought she like put gasoline on the floor or something. I'm like, what's happening? And she with the box, and then she lit the match, and like as she was on fire, and they did that close
transition
up,
to his eye,
and he was just watching. I was like, damn. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that final scene was it for me. I was like, nope. And then it was just kind of like over at that point, and I was just like, damn.
Facts. Like it definitely, like you said, it took all the happiness you had left in your body and was just
very happy.
Like takes all the happiness you had left and just be like.
But wait, can I say, like, I wanted you to talk about that because you said something about what you would have done in that situation, and I didn't think of that, and that was actually very smart.
Well, what I said was I would have, as soon as she turned around, especially because he already he knew how the transition happened for the most part. Like the explanation, even though she didn't give him everything, he knew that it transitions through watching someone in themselves. So he's seen her with the gasoline. He might not have known it was gasoline, but he's seen that she was pouring something on her. Then she turns around, smiling, which you know from the video that you've seen that they're smiling when they kill themselves. Then she opens a matchbox. You still standing there. She opens the matchbox and you're still standing there. And then she lights it. I'm like, through all those transitions, she wouldn't have got that far with me. I would have tackled her to the ground before she got a chance to light herself on fire. That, like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why. And it's not just that instance. Even with the main character, with her patient, I mean, I get she called them already, but she already explained what was going on with her.
Yeah,
she explained it to you.
Importantly,
even if you think
she was failing just in her job, period, because you never turned her back on a psychotic patient.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, you turned your back. You're calling for help. Okay, whatever. But when you turn around, this patient has a shard of glass in their hand, and they're standing there smiling at you. And you're just like, I'm going to stand here and just watch you do it. And it's not like she did it quick or anything either. It's not like she had it and then she was just like whoosh, and cut her neck real quick. No, she brought it up real slow and cut it real slow. So you don't think, hey, let me try to tackle her. Let me try to fucking get even if you didn't want to tackle her, try to get these motherfuckers in here quicker. Like, hey, she's about to stab herself. Like something. You just sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
At least I could say the old lady, she wasn't paying dude no attention until he stabs himself at
Yeah.
the gas station,
She was like, what the fuck?
Swear, like there are some instances where, I mean, I don't even know because we didn't get to see the guy who killed himself in front of her patient. So we don't know if she just sat there and watched it, but the way everybody,
Probably.
yeah, I was gonna say the way everybody's been acting throughout the whole movie, everybody's just watching each other kill each other. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Yeah, especially in like certain situations, like her with the gasoline. Yeah, that would have been very much prevented. But like the dude with the hedge cutters, I'd have ran the hell off, pulled the hell off. I don't care what it is. Excuse me. The professor, remember, he bludgeoned himself with a hammer. I'm probably not tackling him because he has a hammer. But I would have got the hell up out of there.
Well,
I'd have been half cursed.
Well, in retrospect, I mean, you don't know it. I guess, yeah, you're right, because you don't know it yet. But I'm like, what is the smile demon going to do? It needs you to witness. So if you tackle him, what, he gonna bash your head in? Then he got to go find somebody else to watch him kill him. So like, so it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like there was just too many opportunities for people to stop this from happening.
Yeah, for sure. And especially with that last one, he definitely could have stopped. First of all, call somebody. Because, I mean, that's the thing. What's going to happen if a squad of y'all see? So it's going to be a squad of y'all chasing all y'all? Because
maybe
it seems like it's one at a time. Like it's freaking, what's it called? It follows.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
Do something.
To me, more people is better than nobody.
Exactly. At least y'all into it together.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, and it, again, him doing that, just he set his own demise up, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. But he seemed like he seemed like a motherfucker who going to kill somebody. I'm just saying, kill somebody in front of someone.
You are so petty for that. Like, why would you say that?
I just feel like he is. Like, he just seemed like he would.
I don't know. But
what's your ranking for it?
I gave mine.
No, you didn't give a number. You just said you wouldn't.
Yeah, I did. I said a 9.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. I'll give it a.
If y'all heard a comment, I swear I said it.
I'm gonna give it. Well, I'm gonna re-listen to it, but I would give it an 8. I'm gonna put it on the same level as Hellraiser for me. I can't give it lower. I don't feel right giving it a 7.
No, but I'm just saying you annoy me with that. It was definitely a 9. I don't care what you're talking about. I would say, because I want to say it's a 10, but I feel like there might be something I would have changed. And that is probably just going through all her options other than those ones. So that's a strong 9.
Okay, all right.
So what about the scary scale?
Well, I mean, scary scale, I'll probably,
like, would you like there's 10, and then there's like the one where it's like you could watch it with a pentagram spray painted on the wall in a haunted house.
Well, I'm definitely not doing that. And I could watch a lot of stuff in a lot of different places, but that one, like you said, that one, it was unsettling. It makes you rethink
life.
Exactly. So I would give that also. I would give the Scary Skill also a 9. I will watch it again. I mean, I would definitely watch it again. Um, but and I probably could do it with the lights off as long as you're with me. But I could watch it. I could watch it by myself with the lights on.
Nah, we ain't watching with the lights off, so you by yourself on that one.
No, I mean that's cool. We don't got to. I'm just saying I could if you was there with me. If you're not there with me, I gotta watch it with the
Ask
lights
me that
on.
question again 3 years from now.
After you watched it like 17 times,
1,000
times.
That's it. But that's all we have for you guys today. Stay horror, stay creepy, please. If somebody is trying to commit suicide, stop them. Well, yeah, this is our life, y'all. But I can't say for real, on a serious note, if you do know anybody that's suicidal, please send help. There's a lot of there's Western Psychs, there's Resolve. That's on a serious note. So I will say that. But
and there's the suicide hotline. I don't have the number offhand, but you can always look it up on Google. They are very helpful.
And just remember, like, it's usually your super happy friends that are the ones that are the most prone to suicide. So please be respectful. Talk to them. Let them know you're there for them. And I don't care if this person has said the same thing to you 1,001 times. Listen, because we did have a lot of suicides in the last couple. We just had a suicide today.
R.I.P. to the Grand Ranger.
I think it was today. Yeah, today, because I got the notification for it. But yes, I want to. What is his real name? Because I don't want it to be disrespectful.
I think it's Jason.
But he did play the Green Ranger and Power Rangers. So, Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
He died at 49 by suicide. So let's just all have a moment of silence for him. Our hearts go out to his family and go out to anybody who he has ever touched, including us, young ones who used to watch the Power Rangers when we were kids. These are tough times, and we just want everybody to be there for each other. Seriously.
And be safe.
A phone call is all it takes. A text is all it takes. Just do not abandon people, because you never know that one phone call might change somebody's life. I've had plenty of calls, plenty of texts that have kept me from committing suicide. Okay. Even if you don't understand a friend's situation or a loved one's situation, just be there for them, because today could be their last day. We never know when we are called home, whether it's by our own doing or by divine intervention. So I just wanted to have that moment with you guys. But we love you guys. Again, stay horror, stay creepy. Don't be opening any random doors. Don't be checking out any abandoned places. If you see somebody acting crazy, don't go near them. And don't be picking up stuff in the ground. I don't know what's up with y'all. Like, don't pick stuff off the ground that looks like it's ancient scrolls and stuff. The heck? Horror fans unite.
Deuces.